Hello guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Oh, it's been a long time here. If you're just joining for the first time, I'm Aisha and I make YouTube videos on life in the UK as an international fashion student. Today, this is my first time in about 2-3 months now. Yeah, I've been so focused on my dissertation since this last term started. I've been like just off. I don't know. I know how to multitask, but I don't know when it comes to this schooling thing. I just feel guilty while I'm doing a lot of other stuffs. I just really feel guilty. So I just like, okay, mental health. So I just need to leave everything aside to just finish that dissertation. And now I'm done. I just submitted not quite long. And I have this video I've been wanting to like make for a long time now. So here we are. And this video is about jobs you can do in the UK with a tailoring or fashion designing skill. Okay, so let's get right into it. I just noticed that we have a lot of Nigerians. I don't know about other African countries, but I know a lot of Nigerians know how to sew, even if they don't know how to like cut patterns, mark patterns, and do all those stuffs. I know there are a lot of people that know how to use the sewing machine and know how to like join clothes together and sew. If you're Nigerian, you probably know one person or two people or even more that can sew very well. So if you kind of fall into this category, there are jobs here you can do. So I just know a lot of people when they travel here, they all want to go into the very popular job areas that are available in the UK. But if you have the skill, why are you wasting it? You can make bulk of money. Okay, you can make money with just doing what you love to do. So the number one job you can do in the UK with a tailoring or fashion designing skill is a sewing machinist job. So probably some people might be wondering, are there any jobs out there that I can do with this skill? And probably been searching online and they've been typing in the wrong role online. Maybe you've been typing tailoring and you've not really been seeing anything, or you've not even been looking out at all. So you can just check Indeed and all other job platforms and type sewing machinist. You'll see a huge loads of jobs on the sewing machinist. So a sewing machinist job is just you operating an industrial sewing machine and you just sewing. The basic machines most companies do ask, the majority of the machines are the normal straight stitch machine. I think that's like the flatbed machine. Yeah, the straight stitch machine and the overlock industrial machine. So there are different companies that you can work with as a sewing machinist. You don't have to work in a company that just makes clothes. There are cotton companies, duvet companies, companies making carpets, companies making home furnishings. There are a lot of companies that need a sewing machinist. The basic thing is just for you to need to sew, and some companies give training while some companies do not give training. Some companies are really about the speed. Some companies need more of the quality than the speed, so they need you to produce a very high quality stuff, and this speed doesn't really matter that much. There are job roles, just fabric cutting. That's the job role, fabric cutting. I mean, you just only need to know how to cut fabrics, and that's basically what you'll be doing. You just be cutting fabrics. So aside sewing machinists, there is also upholsteries. Upholstery is basically those companies that are into leather work. Those are basically the chair companies producing house furnishings, companies making furniture, chairs, beds, shoe companies. The basic requirements for upholstery might be like for you to have experience with leathers. Probably you know how to use leather and all. So that's another aspect. This can be like something for people that have experience in bag makings, leather works, or even a fashion designer or tailor that have worked with leather before. It really depends, so don't take it on my word. So I feel some companies will still give training, and there are also other types of machines. Guys, I have gist, so that will probably be on the next video. So I need to share out my experience during interview. I had one mad experience. It was mad. I'll share that gist. It's like I always have crazy experience in this UK. Hey God. I'll share that in the next video, but this video, let's continue. Also, there is seamstress. So as a seamstress, it's more like Nigerian tailoring. You need to know how to sew, how to cut patterns. So that's more into clothing and all. There are companies that need seamstress to add to their teams. So the seamstress will be sewing, cutting patterns, probably understand spec sheets, tech packs. So this tech pack is just like a document that contains information of the pattern or the clothes they're making, the measurements, the pattern style, this and that. We don't really go through that process if you go through like the traditional tailoring school in Nigeria. So it's like we kind of skip that tech pack process. But then if you check online about tech packs and you kind of learn about it on YouTube, on other learning platforms, I think you should have a basic understanding of tech packs. Seamstress needs more requirements than other stuffs. So you need to know how to do pattern, sewing, and it's not just sewing. You need to know how to do sewing properly. You need to know all those different methods of sewing. And you need to like be professional, you know, straight stitch, this and that. Also alteration jobs, clothes alteration. So it's more like companies, they are just businesses. It may not really be a big company, but they are just like alteration businesses that all what they do is to alter clothes. So it has different niche. So it might be wedding dress alteration, and that might require you to have experience with wedding dresses, and you just need to know how to like repair wedding dresses, adjust to client size and all. And also there are other niche of alterations. So it really depends on the niche, and it depends on the business for the process. But I think a lot of people know how to, Nigerians, I don't know about other places, so I'm just talking based on my Nigerian experience. So I feel many fashion designers kind of know how to alter clothes, but if it comes to like very specific professional niche like the wedding, the suits, then you might need extra experience. Mostly Nigerians, if you have tailoring skill or fashion designing skill, most times about 98% as their small business. So it's not like you really work under someone and get paid. It's not like you really work under a big company and really get paid. So it means you don't really have experience working under someone else. So the only experience you've been able to gather is just from your own experience, just from what you've been learning by yourself and your interaction with customers and every other thing. And don't forget that if you have your own business, it means you also have retail experience, customer interaction experience. You have all those stuff. Your skill is a bit wide. We're just not really thinking, we just don't really know. But if we think deep down, we have a wider skill and we have more opportunity to work in other areas too, based on this sewing machinist and all. So it means when you're doing your CV, you may not really have experience in other companies. Based on my experience, here is what you'll do. So let's say your company is Gigi tailoring, whatever, or Gigi fashion designing, whatever, and everything you learn is under your company. So you put it there as a company. It is a business, it is a company. So you put it under your CV as Gigi, from what year to what year. This is the year I've been working in Gigi, and this is the year I stopped working in Gigi. So it probably means the year you started running Gigi as a company and the year you ended Gigi. Don't put you're still working there. Like if you're here in the UK you're probably not really working there. So just put the period you probably traveled. But there's no one rule fits all. I'm just talking based on my experience and what I think. You check under the job you want to apply to, let's say a sewing machinist job, and what they require from you is to have experience with flatbed machine, that's like the straight stitch machine. Have experience with overlock machine, have experience with sewing thick clothes, have cutting experience. So basically what I'm saying is you only add those experiences that tailored to the job you're trying to apply to, and you add stuff that kind of relate to it. Let's say you kind of have experience with embroidery, yeah, so you can add you have experience with this type of embroidery machine, and you add other stuffs that relate to that sewing, cutting and all. So just because you want to impress, don't try to add too much. Let's say you want to add you know how to measure. If you're not required to do that from what you read, you don't really need to add that. You don't need to add, you know how to like take customers orders, customer interaction and all, if it is not a retail job, so it is into the production line. And if you're writing the company you've worked in, which is Gigi, and you have to write the title, what is your title in that company. So you can't write your fashion designer in the company, or you can't write you own the company. You need to like tailor it into production line. Since you're applying into the manufacturing production line, you need to change the title, your job title. You can change it to you worked as a sewing machinist, or you worked as a production manager. Let's say in your business you kind of manage other people. You've been in the stage in your business where you've taught other people, you've shown them what to do, and you've kind of managed them. So that's on the managing area and still in the same line. So you can add you have experience as a manager, you can manage people on the production stuff. So to make your CV looks well tailored, don't divert too much. That's what I kind of learned the hard way. Not really the hard way, but I kind of learned that. So the price, most of the sewing machinists and all, it really depends on the city you are. There are cities that they don't really have so much production companies there. So if you're yet to leave your home country, or if you're yet to like narrow down on the city you're going, just make sure the city you're going, I think I've said this in some videos about when you try to come study in the UK and you want to work, just make sure the city you're going to is a city with a lot of jobs. And if you have a specific job you really want to do, make sure your city has those jobs, and you can really check on Indeed even before you traveled. So let's say you're here already, you need to check whether your city, the place you are, has those jobs. Some cities doesn't have, and if your city doesn't have, maybe you should try checking other cities that are closer to you that has those jobs. The payment, it really depends on your experience, and it really depends on the company. Some are just minimum wage, some are higher, some are up to like £15 per hour, some are even more. It really depends on your experience, and it really depends on the job. I feel maybe like seamstress work has more payments, although you can still work as a seamstress and still get minimum wage. So it really depends. The jobs are more of full-time jobs than part-time, based on what I've seen so far. You see part-time jobs. It's not like you won't see part-time sewing machinist and all others. Most that I've seen so far are like full-time. Still depends on the company. There are some companies that it's kind of flexible. You can do extra hours, work on weekends. There is part-time, there is full-time. It really depends. Overall, if you have all these skills, or you probably have other skill that is not relating to designing, any other skill you probably think you may not really get the job here, and maybe you should just do the basic jobs, I feel you should search online, or probably even checking you've not really been seeing. Maybe you've been typing the wrong job role, because in each country the job roles differ. A fashion designer in the UK, their job role is totally different from fashion designer in Nigeria. If you're working as a fashion designer in the UK, you probably won't even sew clothes. Fashion design that we know in Nigeria, it's about cutting, sewing and doing everything like tailoring and all. Here there are a lot more for you to do desk jobs, office tasks that you need to do rather than doing the sewing. So the sewing role is meant for another person. So here they've been able to like cut down all these tasks into pieces. In Nigeria, you probably learn how to do everything. So you can still be the pattern cutter, you can be the seamstress, you can be the sewer, you can be this, you can be that, you can do everything. But here everything is like broken into pieces. There are people that all they do is pattern cutting, a pattern cutter. And if you're very good with pattern cutting, you can be working to just cut patterns, but it's also have an in-depth professional, all these very professional pattern cuttings, different types of patterns, using all those professional tools, the ruler, the measuring curves, the everything. So everything is basically broken down into pieces. The fashion designer is different from the illustrator, it's different from the pattern cutter, it's different from the seamstress, is different from the actual people doing the sewing. It's very great like that. In that way you see it, if you see in that aspect, it looks like fashion is very big and complex. Just one task, it has so much in it. So how many does one person want to really learn? So we just like kind of learn the important pieces and work with it. We also have a lot of advantage because by the time we come here we have a wider opportunity. You can say you want to do this, you want to do that, you can say you want to really do anything. But if you start from the beginning here in the UK, a pattern cutter might probably not be a fashion designer because they don't know the skill, they don't have the skill, they don't know how to do it. So they're just trained to be a pattern cutter. And coming here, you kind of have experience, you kind of know at least the basic of everything, and you are more open to more opportunities. So guys, that's all for today. Please click on the like button, kindly share and subscribe. I beg, subscribe. Love you. Peace out.